Good afternoon, everybody. So today is Time to Talk Day, and it's also Children's Mental Health Awareness Week. So I thought I would quickly take you through a mental health first aid kit and how to make your own. So we all know what a first aid kit is. You've got your bandages, you've got your plasters. Unfortunately for mental health, there isn't such a thing as a plaster or a bandage because it's not something that's so easily fixed or covered over, cleaned. It's not quite the same, but definitely as important. So I'll apologise that the screen keeps going fuzzy. But here in front of us, I've got my own mental health first aid kit. I put this together about a year or so ago, and then I trained as a mental health first aider and shared this. This is now being used in various training for mental health first aid. And I mean, obviously, this isn't something that, it's not an idea I came up with, but it's certainly one I'm always happy to share. And I do think everybody should have a mental health first aid kit, just like a lot of people will have an emergency first aid kit in the house or at work, in the car, etc. So these things are built up of things that I can't always have with me, but quite a lot of the things are things that I can have with me, or at least I know I can grab easily, no matter where I am. So it says just at the top here, some of these things I can't keep with me, but always know where they are and get to them as soon as possible. So it's kind of like a safety net for you. And some of the things you might actually laugh at, but coffee. Now, first on my list has to be coffee. If you know me personally, then you know I love my coffee. But coffee also means that I can get 5 minutes just to breathe. 5 minutes away from my desk, or 5 minutes just to focus on nothing but enjoying this coffee. And sometimes that is all we need, is just a little bit of time just to breathe. So coffee enables me to do that. Music, I think, is a very important one for many people. Music can change your mood, it can change your ideas, it can inspire you, it can create an intense rush of emotions, but it can also take you out of something. So if you, say, for example, if I'm having a bad day, then I'll grab my phone, I'll go on to any of my music apps, and I'll find a song to either change my mood, change how I'm thinking about a certain situation, and it'll just help. It helps massively. So say I'm having a bad day, I'm not able to do something that I might need to do. Obviously homeschooling and work at the same time, it's difficult. So I might stick on some Bon Jovi. I love a bit of Bon Jovi. And to me, Bon Jovi is the type of music that just pulls you out of any sort of low or bad mood, because I'll sing to it. And if you've walked past the house and heard me singing, then I apologise. But it's just, it changes everything. Headphones, if you just need some quiet space, grab your headphones, plug them in, sorted. And then you're only in your mind, you're only in the music that you're listening to, or you're only in the meeting that you're in. And it takes away the sensory issues of having so many things going on around you. Especially, say, if you're at home and you've got the kids running about, or if you're at work and you're supposed to be in a meeting, but you've got other people in the office. So headphones is a great one. A stress ball. A stress ball's fantastic if there's just something that makes you angsty, or there's some sort of, you need a bit of chill but you need a release first. A stress ball is always a great idea. That also actually links into hair ties, so I'll change my hairstyle throughout the day depending on sometimes just the weather. If it's been raining, I'll tie my hair up. If it's too hot, I'll tie my hair up. But hair ties are also a great coping strategy, so putting one on your wrist to fiddle with, again, fiddle with. And a safety net is my phone. My phone has to be near me at all times, simply because it's a way that I communicate. It's something to distract me. It's something to give me 5 minutes away from the world. And all of these things have to have a positive impact. So maybe, I don't know, some social medias won't have the best impact if you're already feeling low. But maybe phoning your partner, your children, your parents, that helps. It can really help just to talk. And of course, there's multiple services out there that you can ring to if you just need a chat. Pen and paper. I hate technology. No, I don't hate technology. I'm just a bit old school when it comes to pen and paper. I'd rather write something down on pen and paper, using pen and paper, sorry, than have to sit and type something. So I've always got pen and paper. It also helps just to write out what you're feeling, what's happened, and it's a way of talking to yourself and kind of getting those emotions out on the paper, doodling something as a distraction or as something to do. And pen and paper, I just advise everybody have pen and paper. Pictures is also a great one. Pictures can bring up 1,000 different memories. So a lot of people have pictures on their phones. I know if I'm having kind of a low day at work, maybe I'll grab pictures of my kids from my phone and just think about what was happening when I was taking that picture. So one of them is my 2 youngest children playing Superman in the out the front, and it was just fantastic to watch. It came out of nowhere, and I just had to snap a picture. So it's a lovely memory. Quotes. I use a lot of motivation quotes, especially when I'm feeling a bit low. So one of my favourite quotes is, "Yes, you can." So if you're speaking negatively to yourself, then you also need to remind yourself that you have to try and speak positive. So if you're stuck doing whatever the situation may be, and you're being quite negative on yourself, one of my favourite ones is, we are our own harshest critics. So the way you judge yourself is probably not the way anybody else judges you. And we need to remember that. So holding on to quotes, write them in a diary, get them tattooed if necessary. You could have them on your phone, you could have them in a workbook, you could have them as a background on your phone or your laptop. Just have your quotes nearby. Distraction, anything to distract you, whether it be a game on your phone. I typically play solitaire, or pool. I've got an app on my phone for pool, and they're a great distraction if I just need, again, just 5 minutes. 5 minutes can literally be all it takes just to change everything up and help you deal with whatever emotions you're feeling with, whatever issues you're trying to power through. So all of these things, again, the coffee I can always go and grab. Music I've always got with me because I've always got my phone. Headphones I don't always have, but I know typically where they are. Stress ball I don't always have, or I used to have one in my handbag. Hair ties I've always got. My phone I've always got. Pen and paper's always in my bag. Pictures are always on my phone. Quotes are on my phone. Distraction, again, mine's on my phone. But chocolate. I'm sure everybody can appreciate chocolate, especially when it comes to mental health. So just grabbing a quick treat for yourself. It doesn't have to be chocolate, of course. If you're more of a savoury person, run to the shop or check your cupboards. Grab yourself a little treat just to help. And again, it comes down to 5 minutes. Enjoy that thing for 5 minutes. Enjoy your treat. And also make sure it's kind of a guilt-free treat. If you're on any kind of diet, then allow yourself a treat. And it will help. It'll help. Perfume. So again, this comes back to the sensory needs of mental health. So a certain perfume will trigger memories, or it'll bring comfort, and find that scent. So it obviously doesn't have to be perfume, but you can use anything to be able to create that scent. So where obviously being based in Hurst Park, I work in Hurst Park, sometimes even just walking amongst the flowers, and it's fantastic stress relief. It also helps with grounding. So the grounding techniques are 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Something you smell, hear, taste, see, and touch. And perfume or flowers, anything that you can smell certainly helps. Prompts, again, it kind of goes back to the quotes, but the prompts are, well, I suffer quite badly from memory loss, so my prompts are actually things for me to do. So creating to-do lists gives me a sense of structure, which helps make the day go easier for me. I know what to expect, I know what's coming up. And prompts to remind yourself that this is okay. It's okay to have a bad day. We'll get through it. Probably getting through a lot more bad days than just today. So the prompts are a fantastic idea. Dressing gown, again, it's a sense of comfort. I like the whole, back to the coffee thing, it's kind of a hug in a mug. And the dressing gown is exactly the same. So you'll actually see my my paper is on one of my favourite throws. And I can just sit and feel it. It goes back to the grounding. It's a sensory thing. It helps relax. It's nice and fluffy. It's nice and warm. Wrap yourself in it. Give yourself a cuddle. That it's just, I can't explain the feeling of, it's the only way to explain that feeling. Texture clothing. So I wear trousers that are called crepe trousers, CREPE, and I wear them because of the texture of them. So it's, again, something sensory, something you can touch, something you can fiddle with, and it creates a sense of calm because I'm focusing on what I'm feeling. I'm focusing on what I'm actually touching on the fabric. And I suppose actually a lot of mental health first aid is sensory. A shower, just to wash off the stresses of the day, to have yourself that 15 minutes, just peace and quiet. There's multiple ways you can use a shower for mental health, as long as you're making that time for yourself. Sometimes we need reminders too. Depression can obviously have an impact on hygiene. So add that to your prompts if that's something that you struggle with. If you struggle to get up and get dressed, so you're in your pajamas all day, or if you're struggling to find time, absolutely make an effort to make the time and enjoy that shower. Put your candles on, have a bath, put the bubbles in, just have that time for you. You need that time. A car, my car is kind of my escape. It's my safety net. It means that I can, well, without COVID, I could go and see my mum and just have a chat or a cry. I could sit in the car, again, have 5 minutes just to breathe. I can get out and head out to the beach for just 20 minutes, have a walk along the beach. Deep breaths, especially with sea air. If you're in parks, the air's clearer than maybe if you're in your streets. It's a great escape. I always know where my car is. Usually my husband's got it, but that's neither here nor there. And it's just an escape. Sometimes even just to go and sit in the car, it's an escape. Cash is a very important one to me. I feel like if I'm walking around with no money whatsoever, then I've got no options. Even if it's 50 pence, you know that 50 pence can quite possibly get you coffee, depending on where you are. It could get you hair ties if you're up the street. The 50 pence could also create distraction. It could buy you chocolate, that's for sure. And like I say, even if it is just 50 pence, then it's something. If it's a bit more than fantastic. It could be bus fare somewhere, it could be taxi fare somewhere, it could enable you to go and get your shopping, but cash is very much a safety net. I know obviously everybody worries about the cash flow and what they've got coming in, what they've got going out, but to have just, as I say, 50p spare makes all the difference, because it's something. And even as a sensory thing, cash in your pocket is something to fiddle with. It's a distraction, it's something to focus on, or it's a way out. So if you would like any help with creating your own mental health first aid kit, do please give me a shout. You can get me on personal message, or you can get me on my email, which is carla.thompson@northumberland.gov.uk. And I'm quite happy just to talk to anybody about mental health first aid, how it can work for you. We'll do some videos on grounding. I've done a few posts in the past about grounding, and Hurst Park is a perfect place, and I know I'm biased, but it is a great place to work on your mental health. You can come for a walk, for a breather, bring the kids down for their distraction, come down and smell the flowers if you must, sit in the rose garden, sit and chat at the pavilion. There's usually always somebody there, and sometimes just walking past somebody and saying good morning makes all that difference. And in current times, you might be the only person that speaks to that person all day, and that has a huge impact. Thank you very much for listening. Please do get in contact, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye.